Hi, and thank you for returning. I'm Eitan Sofer, and this is the last episode of the Adaptive IPS video series. In the previous two episodes, Roy Gershon took you through the steps of Adaptive IPS configuration using Command Line Interface, CLI, and then again with Gaia API. Before we close this video, let's go over one last important aspect of managing the Adaptive IPS feature, its logs. We will now show you how those logs look in both detect and prevent modes and what information you can find in each log. In addition, we will show the differences between Adaptive IPS to Bypass IPS, as was the solution in the previous Quantum Firewall software version. In the example you're about to see, we simulated an attack that matches a specific protection to cause a high CPU usage. In that case, our Adaptive IPS is enabled, so this protection should be disabled while other protections are still enabled, and the IPS continues to operate as usual. First, we will explore the logs in detect mode. In the first, you can see that it was triggered by the IPS adaptive mode and the protection name that caused the impact. The second log shows that the attack was detected, and therefore we have some IPS protections that are impacting our system's performance. Since we are on detect mode only, no action will be taken, and these protections won't be disabled. The IPS blade continues functioning as usual. Now we will switch to prevent mode. We can see that the first log was triggered by Adaptive IPS. You can see also the protection name that was triggered by it to take action due to performance impact triggered by that protection. In the second log, it's where things become interesting. You can see that some of the protections that impacted performance were disabled by Adaptive IPS, while all the other protections are still active. The next log shows that Adaptive IPS checked the CPU operating parameters were lower than the threshold that was set in the configuration stage, and whether it was safe to re-enable the disabled protections again. In this case, the CPU performance parameter is back to 0, which is lower than the threshold we set, which means that in the next log, we will see confirmation that the disabled protection was restored and is active again. The latest logs will show what happens when the IPS bypass is engaged due to high CPU usage. You can see that the IPS blade is disabled, and when CPU usage normalizes, IPS bypass is turned off. To summarize what we've seen in prevention mode, the differences between the logs are that with Adaptive IPS, when a certain protection triggers the feature, it has disabled only the protections that triggered that impact, while all other protections remain active. But in case IPS bypass is the configuration chosen, the IPS blade will be disabled until the CPU value is back under the threshold we set. This brings us to the end of the Adaptive IPS video series. This video provided an overview of Check Point's adaptive intrusion prevention system, which automatically protects networks from evolving threats using advanced automation and real-time threat intelligence. With R82.10, Adaptive IPS introduces improved automation, streamlined management, and offers enhanced protection, reduced manual effort, and optimized performance. The series also covered practical steps to enable and configure Adaptive IPS in Check Point cloud services and monitor activity. It concluded with guidance on reading IPS logs, focusing on key fields like severity, action, and signature to analyze threats effectively. Check Point's Adaptive IPS provides even better security than before, thanks to innovative enhancements and keeping to our motto, you deserve the best security. Look for more such innovations in our YouTube TechPoint Central channel, and thank you for watching.